I went to this doctor, one that worked with Justin Bieber, one that worked with, I'm not even gonna name other names and stuff. My wife took me to do that because she said something about your personality doesn't feel like it's bipolar. I've seen bipolar before. She's educated, so I've seen bipolar before, and come to find out it's really a case of autism.
Co-parenting, it's really hard, you know? And like,
you're not co-parenting with just anyone.
Yeah.
For the quietest, easiest.
But I had the best dad, and I had the best memories and the greatest experience. And that's all I want for my kids. As long as they can have that, that's what I would want for them.
Get out of your episode. A lot of people like medication. Do you take medication? Does it work for you? What gets you out of
I haven't taken the medication since I found out that it wasn't bipolar. That wasn't the right diagnosis. I found out it was like autism. So
how does do you feel it working, or do you just take it just to make your wife happy because she says you should take it? Like, do you believe in the medication?
It's finding stuff that doesn't block the creativity. Obviously, that's what I bring to the world. You know, it's worth a ramp up. As long as y'all get the creativity, like.
Kim Kardashian has finally had enough of Kanye's bullshit and has filed for sole custody of their 3 children. Take a look at Kanye's recent social media activity. Let us just say that it appears likely that she will be granted full custody, just in case you didn't see it. He recently acknowledged that he was seeing his own cousin. However, it goes without saying that Kim did not take that well and had her lawyers on quick dial. I'm not sure if that should have remained in the drafts or if he should simply be in jail. Kanye has long accused Kim of attempting to take their children away from him, and it appears that he may have been right. However, Kim is not only attempting to remove the children, but she is also preventing them from seeing anyone, including Kanye's entire family, while they are living on the streets. You know what? Things are going to become really messy since Kanye just waged war on Kim for it. I will not lie. Let us dismantle this chaos now. Over the past few weeks, if not the past few years, Kanye has been a complete nuisance on social media. Therefore, such conduct is not particularly novel, but nobody's bingo card included the idea of him confessing to having an inappropriate connection with his own cousin. The crazy thing is that he did it without being provoked. Kanye West just released a song called Clicks, and in case you missed it, it was chaotic from the first lyric. Kanye West said, "Hanging with my cousin reading dirty magazines. We seen some ninjas kissing. We ain't know what that ish mean. Then we started reenacting everything that we seen. That's when I gave my cousin head. When I tell you that, fans were inquiring and wondering whether he was describing a true story, whether it was just a song, or if he was simply off his medication again, and everyone was reading into it. The internet was horrified and gagged over this. However, we were not prepared for Kanye to come out and say one of the most outrageous things we have ever heard. He took to Twitter without being asked and said this song is called Cousin, about my cousin that's locked in jail for life. Pregnant lady, a few years after I told him he wouldn't look at dirty magazines together anymore. Perhaps in myself a mess, I felt it was my fault that I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6, and then we acted out what we saw. My dad had Playboy magazines, but the magazines I found in the top of my mom's closet were different. My name is Ye, and I sucked my cousin's D till I was 14. Hey, what? It is disgusting. This is so insane that it should have remained in the drafts and never been seen. Kanye's age when he claimed that all of this occurred is another item that has generated conversation. Although he disclosed that his cousin was 6, many pointed out that he neatly omitted the age at which he and his cousin began playing together. Do not get me wrong, he was undoubtedly a child himself, but fans find it highly odd that he did not disclose his own age when he first started. Some wondered whether this was because he was much older than the cousin at the time. Kanye, however, has also been very upfront about his difficulties with mature material. He wrote a message to his girls on Instagram a few years back. He added, "Don't let Chris make you do Playboy like she made Kylie and Kim do. Hollywood is a giant brothel. Adult content destroyed my family, and I dealt with the addiction that Instagram promotes. Not gonna let it happen to Northie in Chicago." Additionally, a number of individuals who worked closely with him had exposed him for inappropriate behavior. It all stems from his infatuation with adult material. Last year, Lauren Pizziota, his former assistant, even filed a lawsuit against him. Reports state that Lauren was primarily supporting herself via an OnlyFans profile in 2021 when she met West. She says he hired her to work on the first season of his Yeezy women's fashion line, and they ended up collaborating on 3 tracks from his Donda album. Pizziota does not have any formal credits on the record, however. West subsequently hired Pizziota as his personal assistant with an annual salary of $1 million on the condition that she was available 24/7. She says she agreed to the terms. She asserted that until 2022, when Kanye abruptly changed their direction, everything between them was good. Lauren demanded that she deactivate her OnlyFans account, claiming that he had been living a godlike existence. Reports state that after she closed the account, she claims that she was bombarded with explicit text messages from West, including app videos. Piciotta also claims that he masked herself while talking to her on the phone, and that on one occasion, he pleasured himself in front of her after trapping her in a private room on his plane. This is simply too much for him, who a few months earlier was a changed, holy person attempting to alter anything. According to her, he would say things like, "See, my problem is, I want to F, but then after I F, I wanted the girl to tell me how hard they have been F while I'm effing them. Then I wanted to cheat on myself." Apparently, he would continue using profane words to describe his private dreams. She also said that he texted her once and said, "It's my D racist. It is. This effing racist D in mine. I'm gonna beat this racist D for being effing racist. I'm gonna stare at pictures of white women with black behinds and beat the itch out my racist D, beating the itch out of this big black C. I do not even want to read it, you know." Additionally, there have been rumors since April of last year that Kanye chose to try his hand at making sexual films. But it is extra strange, is not it? Particularly considering that Kanye had previously acknowledged that his addiction had ruined his entire life and that he was avoiding pornographic stuff due to the risks it brought. Furthermore, he appeared to have entered his wife's affairs. According to an informant, Bianca will feature in these films. Although she was well aware that some of the staff members who might encounter it were minors, it appears that she finally warmed up to the notion and even started providing links to adult content herself. Gordon to report. She's freaking out with the good reason he's been strutting her around and dressing her like she's a P-star. And now she knows why Bianca went along with him, parading her around like she was in some kind of freaky fashion show because she thought he could turn her into a star, but skin flicks are beyond the pale. Although she was well aware that some of the staff members who might encounter it were minors, it appears that she finally warmed up to the notion and even started providing links to adult content herself. Gordon to report the videos shared by Sensory, who has been married to the rapper since 2022, were accessible for underage staff. No guardrails were put in place to prevent the underage Yeezy season workers from working on Yeezy P, or to even prevent them from being exposed to and being forced to view free to perform their work. Another source claimed that the lawsuit further alleges that Ye's Why Bianca Sensory sent one employee a file sharing link containing hardcore activity. The link was reportedly meant for the development of an app, which Ye announced plans for earlier in 2024. Not only that, but rumors also claim that Kanye showed Adidas employees Kim's naked pictures prior to the brand severing its relationship with him. According to numerous employees, he presented his pornographic DVDs to the team members and played explicit private images of Kim Kardashian in meetings with the Yeezy staff. Regarding the actions, a former collaborator stated, "At the time I found it odd, but in line with his persona as an edgy artist. Now singing within a larger pattern, I feel it was a tactic to break a person down and establish their unwavering allegiance to him, testing and destroying people's boundaries. We already knew Kim was tough at this point, but Kanye's constant testing of her patience and limits made her one of God's strongest soldiers. Furthermore, acknowledging a strange connection with his cousin, yes, there is simply too much to handle." However, Kanye received a lot of criticism for this post, with followers saying things like, Kanye needs that guardianship that Wendy Williams had. Kanye West isn't crazy or bipolar. He's a closeted DL man whose mind is imploding on itself. You can only fake being straight for so long before you crash out. And P addiction really ruined Kanye's life from a young. Kids should not be exposed to that. He needs to go to therapy. Him lashing out all these years instead of getting help is crazy, especially since he has the resources. It should come as no surprise that Kim did not take this well. She reportedly intends to hold an urgent custody hearing for their 4 children. According to an insider, she no longer has faith in Kanye's family and wants to keep her children as far away from them as possible. According to the insider, Kim never really got along with his family because they did not like her. They believed she was unworthy of Kanye, and their relationship has been tense from the beginning. Let us just say, however, that Kim is not crying about cutting them off in light of the recent news. Naturally, protecting her children, even from Kanye's family, is her top priority. However, Given that Kim has long had problems with Kanye's parenting, this is not shocking. And shockingly, Kanye is the sole reason we are aware of that. Because you recall a few weeks back when he used the R word to refer to the twins of Beyonce and Jay-Z? Later, he came out and said that he did that because they would not support him in his custody dispute with Kim. He posted a tweet. Concerning the Jay-Z and Beyonce tweet, Ninja said, "I would regret it. No, I regret taking it down. My Twitter account is on one-way conversation. The only thing that I was mad about in the last few hours was taking that Jay-Z and Beyonce tweet down. Somebody from my music team called me and begged me to take it down and spoke on Twitter banning, etc. I'm so mad I took it down. And now that you think Jay-Z-P's self made me take it down, I gotta double down. Ain't no celebrity ever said nothing to me to come to my aid when it came to these white women taking my kids because they was mad I was wearing a trumpet. F Jay-Z and his whole family, especially his shooters. It is possible that they disapproved of him because they believed Kim would be a better fit for the children than Kanye's erratic behavior. I mean it. However, he said, Kim was trying to have total control over their children. Same. So Kim got the name and likeness over my black children. So a white woman has to control the name and likeness of my black children and then speaks to Cardi about putting my daughter on a song with them. These dumb celebrities be trying to play with me in my face. Not to mention how he abruptly left Kim after she objected to him, including their daughter North on Diddy's song. Kim was correct to object to that though, given the accusations made against Diddy. However, Kanye did not take it well. No one was surprised when he attacked her on social media. Additionally, Kanye posted screenshots demonstrating Kim's opposition to him, saying, "I asked you at the time if I could trademark her name. You said yes. When she's 18, it goes to her. So stop. I sent paperwork over so she wouldn't be in the Diddy song to protect her. One person asked for a trademark. We agreed when they were born I would get all of our kids' names and trademarks so no one else would take them." And Kanye replied, "I'm minted or I'm going to war, and neither of us will recover from the public fallout. You're going to have to kill me." According to TMZ, when Kim found out, she sent out legal letters demanding a cease and desist, an emergency hearing with the mediator and a judge, which sources say Kanye did not join, was held, and sources claim Kanye promised not to drop the song. And Kim wasn't want North involved in her dad's recent behavior, or sources say, or any of the drama surrounding Diddy, who is facing federal charges. She's called everyone she could to keep the song from coming out. Fighting to have your daughter appear on a song that supports a man who has been charged with crimes against women is undoubtedly a bad decision. Speaking of Diddy, however, Kanye has been vocally supporting him. He penned, "Puff got me too, so did I. Free Puff. Did Puff get me too? Because of the fighting or because of the money? I never seen a broken ninja get me too." To be fair, Kim had connections to Diddy prior to his exposure, but at least she has cut ties with him. However, Kanye has been out there supporting Diddy and pushing for his release. He even had his daughter appear on a free Diddy song, which, incidentally, also included Kirsten Combs, Diddy's son, who was also linking Diddy to essay accusations. Even though he talks a lot about protecting his girls, it appears that he surrounds them with dubious people. But it is not unexpected that Kim wants to leave and avoid contact with this side of the family when you combine all of that with his recent allegations of an inappropriate relationship with his cousin. At this stage, it just seems risky. However, admirers have made a really intriguing observation. Kanye has been taking medication since receiving a bipolar disorder diagnosis a few years ago, but he acts out when he stops taking his medications. For example, when he disclosed that Kim nearly killed North while she was pregnant, or when he said that Kim and her mother, Kris Jenner, were attempting to get him admitted to the hospital, calling Kris Jong-un. He did disclose a few weeks ago that he had stopped taking his bipolar disorder medication because his new wife had taken him to a new physician who had determined that he actually had autism.
I went to this doctor, one that worked with Justin Bieber, one that worked with, I'm not even gonna name other names and stuff. My wife took me to do that because she said something about your personality doesn't feel like it's bipolar. I've seen bipolar before. She's educated, so I've seen bipolar before, and come to find out it's really a case of autism that I have. And autism takes you to a Rain Man thing where you're like, oh man, I'm gonna wear this Trump hat because I just like Trump in general. And then when people tell you to not do it, you just get on that one point. And that's my problem when fans tell me to do my album a certain way. I'll do it the opposite way just because la 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 la, I got my money, right?
He added,
Get out of your episode. A lot of people like medication. Do you take medication? Does it work for you? What gets you out of?
I haven't taken the medication since I found out that it wasn't bipolar. That wasn't the right diagnosis. I found out it was like autism. So
how does do you feel it working, or do you just take it just to make your wife happy because she says you should take it? Like, do you believe in the medication?
It's finding stuff that doesn't block the creativity. Obviously, that's what I bring to the world. You know, it's worth a ramp up. Yeah. As long as y'all get the creativity, like.
This very strange conduct could therefore be explained if he is no longer taking medication for his bipolar disease, particularly if he has been off the medication for a long time. But Kim is not taking any chances now that their children are involved, and she ought not to. However, I need to know how you guys feel about this. Do you believe that Kim's decision to prohibit the family members is the appropriate one? Or do you believe she is overdoing it? Leave a comment below and then watch this following video.